Right, 2021 is here, and just to think that a year back around this time, we were building up to what was going to be a monumental T20 World Cup. But the times that we are living right now is such that this Pakistan tour of South Africa is going to be just the third bilateral series between full-time members of the ICC. Javeria Khan has been named the skipper of Pakistan for their tour of South Africa, and I have with me Mark Coles to discuss the squad that they are carrying to the Rainbow Nation on the outside view. Hi, Mark. Good to have you, but let's kind of go right into it. Your first thoughts about Pakistan squad.
Well, firstly, thanks very much for having me, and hello to all your viewers, and the great job that you keep doing. It's fantastic to be on the show again. Look, my views are that it's now going to be a very, very close series. I think with the absence of Bismah Maroof, it was leaning towards Pakistan may struggle a little bit. But now with Van Niekerk and Chloe Tryon out, those are two huge players for South Africa. So I think the series is going to be very, very even. And Pakistan can feel very confident going into this series, particularly with those two players out for South Africa, who are key players of that South African team.
And just to imagine that last time Pakistan were in South Africa, you were a part of that unit. It was a well-gelled, experienced unit. There was Sana Mir, of course, but there was also Bismah Maroof, the leader of the squad. And she is missing out this time. So how big a dent is that, you think?
Well, I think it is a big dent. Look, you know, she offers so much in terms of her batting and her leadership, obviously. But just being a left-hander in the order just upsets the South African bowling attack. So that fact alone, and that she's a proven performer, particularly in the one-day side of the game, is going to be a huge blow for Pakistan. I think Javeria Khan, it just adds that little bit more pressure to her as not only the captain, but now as one of the main batters in that group, along with Nahida Khan, obviously, too. But it does leave a big gap, and Javeria, I have no doubt, will step up to that and fill that gap. But there is a little bit more pressure on her now than there would be ordinarily.
Gee, it's lovely to pick your brains because you kind of work with these girls for a long time. And a bit more about Javeria Khan. She's a reluctant leader. She's not someone who really relishes the burden of captaincy. So do you think that is going to affect her batting in this tournament, or it's just Javeria Khan, the batter, when she's with the bat?
I think it can affect Javeria, and that's why she probably, as you rightly said, is sort of a reluctant leader. But when she does take the reins, when she's in a position where she has to and there is no other real alternative, then she does it very well. But she's not a natural, I'm stepping forward and leading the team if she doesn't have to. But she does contribute, obviously. You know, I mean, that batting group, she's a big part of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing her really having to take the reins like she did at the 2018 T20 World Cup and did a very good job for us there. It's going to be tough on her because she now becomes one of the two major batters in that top three, Nahida Khan, Javeria Khan, and then obviously Dar gives you a little bit of experience and Riaz down at 4 or 5. So it's going to be a big role for her to play.
It's a 17-member squad, and the times that we are living in means that teams generally carry larger contingent. A 24, 25 member squad is a norm, but to see that Pakistan just have 17, do you think that is a concern? Let's quickly touch on this before moving to the next segment.
Well, I think it could be because we've seen with the men's series, you know, that have been going on, Sri Lanka against South Africa, I think they had 5 or 6. The Indian series against Australia at the moment have got 3 or 4 out. So although it is only 3 ODIs and 3 T20s, you'd hate to have any major injuries, in particular to Pakistan's seam bowling attack. They only have really 4 seamers that are 4 recognised seamers, and Riaz, Ayman Anwar, Diana Baig and Fatma Sana. So if there happened to be a little injury there, then it's getting thin. Lots of spin bowling, but you know that seam department could be a little bit of a concern for Pakistan going into the series.
Right there. Let's move on to the perceived strengths of the Pakistan squad. Spin, you'd believe so, because there's Saida Arub Shah, Sadia Iqbal, Ayman Anwar, Nidadar, of course, Nashra Sandhu. Is that the strength, or do you think apart from this, there's something else that could be considered to be the strength of this Pakistan squad?
Well, look, they've very clearly gone in with a plan, or a plan to go in with spin bowling. And you've mentioned three of them there, all turn the ball, all left armers, and Arub Shah as well. My worry is that really the only one recognised off spinner is Nidadar. And we saw that Sanamir was very dangerous against Pakistan, against South Africa for Pakistan in the last series.
Still on the strengths, and they say strike while the iron is hot. There's Kainat Imtiaz in this Pakistan squad. Last played in 2019. The ODIs, if we talk about, it's Feb 2019. T20Is in October 2019. But she's, as I said, strike while the iron is hot. She's been in red hot form in the national T20 tournament of Pakistan. Right move? Is that the way you wanted it to go?
Well, I think she's deserved that selection. My fear for Kainat is that she's not really ever performed at the next level. So this is a very big opportunity for her to nail down a position in this team on a permanent basis. I could see her batting at maybe 6 or 7 potentially, and maybe playing a part with the ball. But I wouldn't say that she's a recognised frontline seamer. But certainly this is a big series for her, because I think she's been an in-between cricketer, a bits and pieces cricketer. So this really is a big tour for her to really cement a place in that Pakistan team moving forward into the World Cup qualifiers, which are going to be hugely important for Pakistan in the next 6 months.
Right. While we are on the topic of seam, that gives us a good flow to move towards the areas of concern. Seam bowling, is that thin? Is it okay for them? Because South Africa generally not too seam friendly, but perhaps more than what is seen in the subcontinent. So is that an area of concern?
Yeah, it is. I don't know where the young seamers are at the moment. Hopefully they're coming. I mean, Fatma Hassan has come through the ranks, and she's played Pakistan and for Pakistan previously, but she's finding her way. I think there's still a little bit of technical work with Fatma Hassan that needs to be done to make her a really effective bowler at international level. Diana Baig is obviously going to spearhead that attack. And then you've got Ayman Anwar, who on her day is very, very dangerous, brings the ball back in to the right-handers, and then has the one that straightens a little bit. But on the other side of the coin, you know, Pakistan are going to have to be aware of two of the best in the world, Ismail and Cap. They will go at them hard. They will know that Pakistan are a little bit tentative against the short ball. So I think the Pakistan top order can, early on, they can expect the ball not to be on their side of halfway. I think Ismail and Cap will get in there and be very aggressive against the top order of Pakistan.
Love the way the passion reflects whenever you talk about Diana Baig, Nidadar, and the Pakistan unit. Your key players for the series, for the tour. In fact, there are 3 ODIs and 3 T20s. Key players.
Well, I think Diana Baig is a key for the opening the bowling and getting early wickets. I think she is a key. She swings the ball when she gets it in the right area. She's very, very effective. So getting early wickets, getting Lee, Wolvart is going to be a key to stopping that momentum for South Africa. And then I think Nidadar plays a huge role in the T20s. I think that's very obvious. And then Riaz, I think, plays a key role in the ODIs and the T20s in terms of just making sure that that middle order is stable and has some stability if we lose early wickets. And then obviously in the T20s, she's very dynamic. And Javeria Khan will have to play a huge part in both T20s and ODIs. So as I said previously, just that added little bit of pressure on Javeria, which hopefully she'll be able to cope with, and the captaincy. And then Nahida Khan in the one days is going to be a key at the top of the order, just to get that innings moving and getting Pakistan some momentum.
Right, then let's give a glance at the fixtures. 3 ODIs followed by 3 T20Is. The last time they were there, tied the ODIs before just narrowly going down in the T20Is. The first ODI starts on Jan 20th. You can follow all the coverage on Women's Crick Zone platforms. And that's it from this edition of The Outside View. Thanks, Mark, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure.